Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of your favorite outdoor experiences. Today we are going to be talking about whitetail deer and some small tricks and tips that might help you this upcoming deer season. As always, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button to get our names out there to other outdoor enthusiasts. Don't forget to check out our new shop in the banner below the video. Let's get to it. From the first time the settlers came to Minnesota, the whitetail deer was abundant and seen very commonly in central and southern Minnesota, where land at the time was not as densely wooded. In contrast, deer were more scarce in the northern part of the state due to the amount of trees and densely packed wooded areas. According to the Minnesota DNR website, whitetail deer are on average between 4 and 6 feet long, and roughly a bit over 3 feet tall. The males on average weigh in at about 100 to 300 pounds, whereas the females weigh in at about 85 to 130 pounds. Whitetail deer are herbivores, meaning they only eat plant-based items. Most commonly, they eat acorns, corn, soybeans, mushrooms, grasses, tree leaves, buds, twigs and bark, wild grapes, apples, and assorted shrubs. The state of Minnesota offers a wide variety of habitats for deer. In southern Minnesota, where there are plenty of wide open fields, deer will often be spotted where they can graze in these fields of corn and soybean. Fields are ideal for deer for several reasons, the first of which being plenty of food. Second, there is plenty of tall grass, which makes an ideal area for deer to blend in and bed down. Third, wide open fields make it easy to spot predators. In northern Minnesota, where the woods are denser, deer forage for acorns, berries, and more. Food is more scarce in certain parts of northern Minnesota due to the amount of logging that has been done over the past several decades. This has caused deer to migrate to different areas, going either out east or west, depending on where you are. On top of the food being less available in these areas, seeing predators is often more of a challenge for deer because of the coverage. Deer can see great at night, and contrary to popular belief, yes, they can see in color. But don't worry just yet. According to the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation, they can only pick up on short blue and middle green wavelength colors, but are less sensitive to long wavelength colors such as red and orange. In Minnesota, a hunter must wear at least 50% blaze orange or pink while firearm hunting. Minnesota deer hunting has an interesting past. In 1858, the first big game hunting regulations were established. These laws set up the foundation for what the Minnesota deer seasons would be today. In 1899, the state of Minnesota stated that the cost of a deer tag would be just 25 cents for a Minnesota resident, but would cost $25 for a non-resident. Deer hunting is a popular event in Minnesota, and in 2021, the Minnesota DNR reported that they sold a whopping total of 427,248 permits. Deer season in Minnesota runs from September until the end of December for archery. A hunter may wear camo during this time, but must wear a blaze orange article while bow hunting during any firearm season. Depending on your hunting zone, firearm season starts on the first weekend of November until the end of the third weekend. In certain zones, firearm season may only run from the first weekend until the end of the second weekend. Depending on your zone, you may also be restricted in which type of firearm you can use to harvest a deer. Be sure to check your local guidelines and regulations. For example, in southern parts of Minnesota and certain northern parts, you commonly see hunters using either a muzzleloader, a shotgun running slugs or buckshot, or a handgun using a legal caliber such as .357, .44 Magnum, and more recently the 10mm auto. In other parts of northern Minnesota, a hunter may use a high-powered rifle such as a .308 or a .30-06. Deer have an excellent sense of smell and hearing. A deer can hear you up to 300 to 400 yards away and smell you up to a quarter mile away in ideal weather conditions. If you can help it, try to use an odor neutralizer for your hunting clothing. Try and remain downwind of where the deer may approach you. This may give you a better opportunity of remaining hidden. Remember, just because a deer spots you in one area, if they cannot pinpoint where the sound or scent is coming from, they may circle back. A hunter must make sure all bait is removed from the hunting site 10 days before the opener. But throwing corn out for a few weeks before that may aid in keeping deer in your area, especially if you're hunting in an area where food is hard to come by. Our last tip is about after you take your shot. Always try your best to track where your deer ran off after you shot it. Depending on your caliber and shot placement, a deer might not drop right where you think it would. Using a red or green light in a low light situation makes it easier to track blood trails versus a traditional white light. Without snow on the ground, blood blends in really well with leaves from the fall trees. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode and would love to hear some of your favorite deer hunting tips. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.